Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back. Real Sports Updates here. Back again. Going live today because I wanted to kind of touch on this Derwin James contract extension. I think this is one of the more pressing issues that the Chargers need to take care of at this point. I think Derwin James has been the heart and soul of this team, pretty much since he's came into the league. Um, you know, particularly on the defensive side, but he's a guy. His energy is contagious. If you watch any of the Chargers social media stuff, any of the videos, anything on YouTube, Derwin James is the guy. Derwin James is the guy that everybody looks to, when it's time to, get pumped up, when it's time to go out there, when it's time to go out there and just lift the team up a little bit. Derwin James is that guy. So the Chargers have to get this done. They have to get this contract done. You really don't want this hanging it over, your heads, going into training camp, and you definitely don't want it hanging over your heads if, you go into the season. You definitely don't want that. But the framework is there for the new contract, right? What's up, Rick? What's up, Rick? How you doing? The framework is there for the new contract. So we just seen, I believe it was last week before last, right? Minkah Fitzpatrick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Minkah Fitzpatrick is a really good player. He's a very, very good player. I'm a big fan of his. I look at the DB position a lot. He's a very, very, very good player. He's very instinctual. He does a lot of things for the Steelers, and I feel like he's one of the if I'm gonna give him a ranking, top 20, top 25 players in the league. And I think Derwin James is in there as well too. But the only thing Derwin James has over Minkah Fitzpatrick is that Derwin James was the signal caller for the Chargers last year, right? He wore the green dot on his helmet. So, I believe that gives him the edge when it comes to, contract talks and things like that. Both of these guys are both leaders on the team, right? They're both leaders from the standpoint that other guys look to them, right? They kind of hold everybody else accountable, right? They're locker room leaders. They're good teammates. They both have a lot in common when it comes to that. But like I said, Derwin James was the signal caller, and if the defense, if the scheme stays the same, he will be the signal caller for the Chargers this year as well too. So you also have to take that into consideration as well. So I think the framework is there for Derwin James to get paid. Now, Minkah Fitzpatrick, he signed a 4-year, $73.6 million contract. And this was last week. I believe $36 million of it was guaranteed. But the Steelers did this contract the right way, and I think the Chargers are going to mimic this. I think they're going to play with the numbers a little bit more. But this was the right way to do a contract for a safety. You have to front load these contracts, right? Especially a safety, right? A hard hitting safety. Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's a hard hitter. Derwin James, we know he's a hard hitter. He comes up, he plays in the box, he's very physical, and he does have a injury history, and that has to be taken into consideration as well. But if you front load these contracts, you're not going to get burned on the back end, and I think that is the big thing. When it comes to paying safeties, when it comes to paying linebackers, when it comes to paying the guys who collide all the time, you got to front load these contracts, to make them feel better about signing them. That way you don't get burned on the long end. So Minkah Fitzpatrick, 4 years, $73.6 million, $17.5 million signing bonus, and his cap hit for 2022, not counting the signing bonus, is 8.1. So he's at over $25 million this season. That's a good number. That's a really good number. There's not going to be too many players in the league that are going to turn down $25 million in the season, right? So $25 million of that 73 will be given to Minkah Fitzpatrick in just this season, right? So you front load the hell out of it, and you're fine, right? So he gets $25 million this year, and I'm not sure what the number is for next year, but I know the total annual value is what, 16 million or whatever it is. If you front load these contracts, you're not going to get burned. And you give him $25 million this year. If he gets another, just depending on what, if maybe if they finagle the contract a little bit. Maybe they do another signing bonus for next year or whatever. He can get, another $12 million or whatever. So in the first 2 years, you pretty much paid him half of what the total value of the contract is. You're not going to get burned that way, right? And then you can pretty much go year after year at that point. And I think that's what the Chargers are going to do with Derwin James, because he was a signal caller last year, because he probably will be this year. I do think that he will. I think his contract is going to be more than the total value is going to be more than the $73 million. I think his probably goes to like 75, 77, whatever it is, right? Guys always like to get paid a little bit more than the previous guy that just got paid, right? Because they feel like they're better or whatever, right? And this is business as usual in the NFL. So I think the number is, a little higher. But I think this structure, the way that the Steelers front-loaded this contract, is the exact way that the Chargers should handle this contract, right? You got a guy who is, he is the heart and soul of your defense, but he is injury-prone as well, too. So there has to be protections for the team as well. The team needs to be protected, right? You want to pay Derwin James, and he deserves all his money. He's been a trooper, the way that he has dealt with the injuries, and he has, exuded nothing but class since he's been a Los Angeles Charger, right? From, draft day all the way up until now. He's been a class dude, a stand-up guy in the community as well, really good teammate. He deserves every single penny, but there has to be protections for, the organization. And I think this is the very, 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 it could not have done, normally when guys get money, right, you see the wide receiver market earlier, in the offseason, right? It was kind of going crazy a little bit, and, guys are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money, and there wasn't too much protection for the team. This is the opposite, right? These guys are going to get their money, but there is a lot of protection for the team in this, and, these deals are not super long-term, right? 4 years, that's not a super long-term, thing that a team has to go through, right? Especially if you front-load the contract. You give the player almost all of his guaranteed money within the first 2 years. You can go year from year, and then the cap hit is a little lower. So this is the really is the perfect example of how to deal with the contract, right? A non-quarterback contract. Obviously Justin Herbert is going to come up as well too. I'm sure the Chargers have already started talking about that. Internal planning about it. He's going to get a bunch of money. The quarterback market is going to be in disarray coming up. Thanks to the Cleveland Browns and what they did with Deshaun Watson, and potentially what Lamar Jackson does too in Baltimore. The quarterback market is just going to be, it's going to be a circus, and it's not going to be, it's going to be bad, I think, ultimately for teams. But if you have a great quarterback, you got to pay him, right? But the Cleveland Browns pretty much just upset the apple cart and did some stupid stuff, but it is what it is. But this is how you take care of other guys who are non-quarterbacks, right? Non-quarterbacks, possibly non-receivers, non-offensive linemen. You got to front load the contracts. You have to get these guys to see that they are valued within the first couple of years of the contracts. You cannot do, any of the other, the long-term deals, right, where you're getting a guy just a chunk at a time. You got to front load these contracts. And that's pretty much what the Chargers, I think that they're going to do. This is going to be a successful contract negotiation. And, hopefully they can just get it worked out before training camp. That is my hope. Get it worked out before training camp. Derwin James needs to be in there with the defense. He needs to be in there, getting reps with the new defense. And like I said, if he is going to be the signal caller, he's going to be the most important guy out there. So he needs reps immediately. So hopefully the Chargers can get this done. I really hope they can get it done. Let's see. Your mic is choppy. Let's see. Is it? Okay. Let's see. I think it still is it good? Let's see. It is anybody else in here? Is my mic okay? Try to fix it. Should be okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? If my mic is choppy, let me know. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens with this. I think this is going to be a very good contract negotiation. There's going to be guys who are going to have to get paid down the line. Like I said, Herbert's up next. Then you're going to be looking at Rashawn Slater, right? Rashawn Slater, one of the best left tackles in the league. This is really, the only downside to having so many great players is that you're going to have to budget for most of them, right? You're not going to be able to afford all of them, but you're going to have to be able to budget for most of them. And I think the Chargers are going to do a good job with that, especially with this Derwin James contract. Let's see what it says. Let's see if JC took less money to come here and play with Derwin. Then it's Derwin's turn to do the same. I don't even think he has to take less money. I think it's just about how they load the contract up, because NFL contracts are very just, you can't, no two contracts in the NFL are the same. Even if a guy is making the same amount of money, same years and all that stuff, none of the contracts are the same. So the front-loaded contract for the physical players, right, it really seems to work out a lot. If you can give, if Derwin James gets $40 million guaranteed, right, if he gets, 35 to 36 million guaranteed in the first 2 years, then that's a good contract from his end, right? Because he's going to make all his guaranteed money plus some, on the back end. So I think that's a great contract. I don't think he has to take less money, though. I really don't. Let's see. Slater will be about 2 to 3 years down the road. Slater's going to be down the road, but when you have to budget for these players, you're going to have to get them early, right? So this is Justin Herbert. This is going to be his third year, right? So you're going to be negotiating with him after, your third year, right? Rashawn Slater was a rookie last year. This is going to be his second year. So you're looking after the 2023 season, you're going to have to start negotiating with them right away, because you want to get them on the low end, right? You really don't want them to have any more Pro Bowl, any all-pro seasons without them being under contract, because the market is just going to hit, right? And you've seen how the market goes. This wide receiver, the wide receiver boom in the offseason, right? The guys are getting paid stupid amount of money, right? Devontae Adams, almost, $30 million or whatever. Tyreek Hill. And this just came up, just out of nowhere, right? The Devontae Adams thing was the thing to move the needle. So you never know. You have to get him under contract right away. And like I said, the Browns, they really did something stupid with Deshaun Watson. Didn't make sense at the time, and it doesn't make sense now, especially if he's going to be suspended for a year. But the quarterback market is now going to be in flux now, right? We're waiting on Lamar Jackson. What does he do? There's maybe a few other guys in there. The quarterback market is going to be crazy. And, I know, Justin Herbert is a good guy and all this stuff, but you can never really predict how a player really feels, about money, right? And that's the one thing that you really don't want to test that on, You really don't want to go there with him on the money thing and say, oh, we think you deserve this, when, there's a guy who, was suspended for a year, who's got a whole bunch of different, sexual assault cases and all that stuff. You really don't want to go there. So you want to sign them when they're going to be at their cheapest, right? So to speak, right? Obviously, it's not going to be cheap, but you want to sign them at their cheapest. You don't want them to go on and continue to ball out and then have the price just, continue to go crazy, because then you're really, you're doing yourself a disservice as a franchise. Let's see. Call me crazy, but I think Jay Herbert will take a Brady-like deal, give the team flexibility, but around him, I doubt he wants to go through what he went through the first 2 years. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think his personality is, he's a football guy, and like he doesn't. He's in LA and stuff, and he has the chance to do a lot of different things, but he never does. And I don't know if you've seen the press conference he did. Was it earlier this week or was it last week, where he said that he hates the offseason, he just wants to play football? Like he's a football guy. Like, he's a football guy through and through. So he wants to play football, and I don't think he's not going to be doing any of the holding out in training camp and all that. I don't think he's going to do anything like that. If he does take a Brady-like deal, then that would be, man, I mean, you would not be able to say enough good things about Justin Herbert if he did that. That would be crazy. Um, just his talent, right, and him, taking less money for the team to be able to put the right pieces around him, or the right pieces. I feel like most of the right pieces are around him now, but to just be able to keep, guys like J.C. Jackson or keep, man, I think that would be amazing. That really would be amazing. And I definitely don't count that out, because he is a lifelong fan, and he is a guy that if anybody was going to do it right, if anybody away from Brady was going to take less money to keep their team around them strong, I would say that it's Justin Herbert, right? We know Mahomes didn't do it. We know Josh Allen didn't do it. But Mahomes, he's a guy. I'm sorry, Justin Herbert. He is a guy that he seems like he would. He seems like he would, and he seems like he is, content with, the money that he has and the money that he's going to get. Right? He's going to make a bunch of money. Right? He's going to be the face of the NFL going forward. So he's going to make a ton of money. He's going to have a lot of opportunity off the field to compensate for what he doesn't make, right, in his NFL contract. So that would be crazy. That would be that would be something, right? And that's one of those things that you never can count on a guy doing that. You can never count on it. So anytime stuff like that happens, it's always a pleasant surprise, right? I believe. Well, they were both doing it at the same time. Tom Brady and I don't know if you're a basketball fan, but Tim Duncan was doing that as well too with the Spurs, right? To keep his team, to keep Ginobili, to keep Tony Parker, to keep the guys there that he won with previously. Like he was doing that, taking less money, and they were going out and signing a guy for defense or signing a shooter with all that stuff. Like he was doing that at the same time that Brady was doing. Both those guys were very, very successful, and that has shown to work a lot in sports, right? When guys take less money. Again, I don't know if you're an NBA fan, but when the Heat, when LeBron and Wade and Bosh, when they first got together, they all took less money too. They all took like way less money than the max to make it fit. I think it was 2010 or whatever. So they had the super team won because they took less money, and they were all unselfish in putting that team together. And even though they didn't win all the championships, they won 2 championships. They made a championship team out of that. That is one of the most underrated things, right, for a guy to take less money. But normally athletes are so into themselves and they're greedy and all that stuff. So I don't know. A lot of guys are not willing to take less money. I know agents are really greedy. They really want their money. They really want their commissions from their athletes. So that's not something that is going to be talked about by a lot of agents. That's something that a player has to do. Just completely wave his agent off, wave his assistants off, and say, I'm taking less because I'm going to make money off the field. I'm going to make money off the court. So I'm taking less, so we can build up a strong team and we can have a championship team around us, a Super Bowl team, whatever it is, right? Whatever sport it is, that's what these guys do, right? That's what Brady does. That's what Tim Duncan did. They had a hell of a lot of success. And anytime you normally see that, guys, superstar players taking less money, it almost always turns out in the championship. So I don't know why guys don't do a lot more of it, but it's easy for me to say that sitting here. I'm not the one, making all this money and all that crap. But, it is what it is, right? Let's see. Well, the great quarterbacks we've had for Herbert to be the one that can get us over the top. It really is. It really is. But that's the thing about Herbert, though. He has the right mentality to do this. And again, he is a football guy. I know he comes off as being quiet and all that stuff, but you can tell. I don't know if you watched every game last year. I can't remember which game it was, but he has that competitive fire, and that's something that I pointed out when I was watching it with one of my friends. I can't remember who. I think it was Josh Palmer. I think he ran the wrong route or something like that, and Herbert started just dressing him down. He started yelling at him like, yeah, It was the first time that I ever seen him do that. And the camera just got a quick peek of it, but I was like, okay. And I seen that, and I was like, man, I love it, love this guy even more because he is he's getting on his guy, right? And he is not bashful in it. He's not, you know, tucking his head down or whatever. Like, no, Palmer ran the wrong route, right? And I think it was a third down too. So Herbert just started dressing him down right there. Like, come on, you got to get your head into the game. This was obviously a mistake. Let's go. Let's get it together. And that's the type of leadership that you need, right? We don't need Justin Herbert to be Ray Lewis, right? We don't need him to be giving all these crazy speeches after the game and doing all of this type of stuff. We don't need that. But what we need Herbert to do is lead and show his leadership, right? So if he's doing that in the game, you know he's doing that in practice. And you know the guys respect him for that because, he's not the rah-rah guy. But if you're not on the same page, right, or if you're having a bad day at practice or whatever, and he needs to get you together, right, he needs to give you a quick, a swift, kick in the butt or whatever, then that's what he's going to do, So I like his leadership skills. I do. I really like his leadership skills. And, from everything that they've said, through OTAs and all that stuff, he's more vocal now. He's a more vocal leader. The guys know whose team it is, right? There's no, nobody trying to upset the apple cart in the locker room. Nobody's trying to, talk bad about him or whatever. They know this team belongs to Herbert. So, with that being known, I think he can be a much better leader this year than he was the past couple of seasons. So, yeah, for Herbert is in that mold of Tim Duncan, they humble from there. Yes, 100% humble. And, when a guy is not doing a lot of press, when he's not doing a lot of media, that shows you that he is more than likely just into what he does, right, as an athlete. He's more than likely just into his sport, right? We've seen Baker Mayfield do how many commercials from day one, and, he don't even have a team now. So, this, and I get that there's money there and all of that stuff, but there's something to be said about guys who want to prove themselves first before they start doing all the commercials, before they start getting out there and doing all of this, going back and forth on social media with reporters and all that stuff. I don't even see Justin Herbert on social media. Like he'll post something every now and then, but maybe like a picture of whatever he just cooked on his grill or something like that. But he's not on there going back and forth with people or engaging or interacting and all that stuff. The guy's pretty focused. He's pretty focused, and I love it. Love it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I remember that. Thinking also, I wish he would yell at Keenan every once in a while. See, but he's not gonna yell at Keenan though, because he has Keenan's respect, right? Keenan has his respect too, right? Keenan is a guy who he's proven, and if he continues the pace that he's on, he will probably make the Hall of Fame. He'll probably get into the Hall of Fame because he is the catch pace that he's on and the yards pace that he's on. He's going to end up being well within the top 10 of receivers, right? Once his career is done and over with. So I think he has a respect of Keenan. I don't think he's not gonna just start dressing Keenan down like that. He's a veteran, and they seem to be pretty good friends as well too. So, but that was, I feel like that's needed, right? It's needed for the younger guys, right, to get on the same page, right? Because Herbert does have that. He kind of has that he has like a little bit of that Kawhi Leonard type of thing with him, right? Where he's quiet and he's not as vocal as he could be or should be. But when you show that fire every now and then like that, the other guys are looking, right? The guys behind Palmer, guiding the maybe some of the special teams guys who get reps or whatever. They're looking like, oh, okay, well, I need to get my stuff together because he'll dress me down like that too. So that you have to put something on people like that to let them know that you were serious about winning, and that's clearly all it's about with him. It's about winning. He doesn't really care about the stats. He doesn't care about all that stuff. But I remember that was like a crucial third down, and that was the first down that the Chargers needed to have, and I believe they were already in they were close to the red zone. I know they're in field goal range or something like that, but they were trying to score a touchdown, and for him to not have his head in the game, right? You're gonna go into the game. You need to be ready to, you know, run your routes, precisely, and present a good target for the quarterback to hit you. And he didn't do it, so he dressed him down just to make sure, hey, let's go, let's get into the game. And that was the only time I seen him do that last year, though. I didn't see him do it any other time. I think the guys are pretty much focused, and I think they already know that they are. Expected to come out and perform, especially with the quarterback like that. You can't be out there making them look bad. So it was good to see him do that. Very good to see him do that. See, have you commercials? Some Oregon company. I seen a commercial of him. It was a video I think I was watching on YouTube. I don't even know what it was about. I think it was like him, Devin Booker, and there were like some other athletes. I think it was like maybe some crypto or some like NFT stuff, or I don't know, something like that. That's really the only commercial that I've seen him in. What other commercial? Just that one. And I know that there was one last season but it was an NFL commercial. It was for Monday Night Football. So that's pretty much the only commercials that I've seen Justin Herbert in. He doesn't do a lot of commercials at all. He's not a media guy, which is amazing because he lives in LA and he has all of it. I'm sure, whoever his representation is, I'm sure they're getting calls every single day. He's the young star quarterback in LA, which is a huge market, right? There is Matt Stafford's here, but Matt Stafford is in his 30s. Justin Herbert's young, man. He's young, and this is, especially if the Chargers have success, if they have playoff success, if they potentially get to a Super Bowl or something like that. This dude's gonna be everywhere. His billboard's gonna be everywhere. He's gonna be a huge star, freaking huge star. He already is, but that's just without any of the media stuff, that he's doing now. So let's see. He does. Let's see. He does stuff for an Oregon company. I think it's a shoe company or something. Oh, okay. So okay, there's probably people that he knows. It's an Oregon company, so that's where he's from. Yeah, it's probably somebody that he knows. He could be doing so much though. I think he is signed with Nike. I haven't seen him do like anything for Nike. There's a bunch of media companies. There's a bunch of stuff that you can get into around LA. People will pay him millions of dollars to do a lot of things, but he hasn't done it yet. And I'm curious to see if he'll do it in the future. He don't seem like he like being on camera at all. The game that I went to last year against the Browns, they kept showing him on the screen, and he kept hiding, like trying to get away from wherever the camera was because he didn't want to be up there on the screen. Like he's not really a big media guy, but I like it though. I really do like it. I think it's good. I think it's good for the Chargers. I think it's good for the NFL because you have a guy who wants to be humble, right? He just wants to play ball and kind of just do his own thing, off the field. And I think it's that's great for the NFL because a guy doesn't get overexposed. Nobody's ever like, oh man, I'm tired of seeing Justin Herbert, because you really don't see him. You don't see him. You're likely to see him maybe if you go golfing somewhere, but you're not just gonna turn on the TV and see Justin Herbert everywhere. I think that definitely is a good thing for the Chargers. It's a good thing for the NFL. Kind of have that mysterious superstar. Kind of do that Kawhi thing. That was good for the NBA. Because when Kawhi did do stuff, people were like, oh man, look at Kawhi. He's doing this, doing that. He's in the Drake video and all that stuff. So it is a good thing because you kind of surprise people and just pop up doing stuff. And then when you do stuff, it does get a lot of looks. It gets a lot of impressions online and all that stuff. So I think it's a good marketing strategy for him to, just kind of stay low for right now. But, I think the time, especially he continues to play this way, it's going to be inevitable, man. His superstardom is going to go through the roof, and it's going to be inevitable. The money's going to get too good for him to pass up these commercials, right? Maybe, he's coming in as a rookie, or after his rookie season, maybe he gets offered, a couple $100,000 to do something, right? And then after last season, maybe that offer is now up to $1 million, right? If he balls out, the Chargers get to the Super Bowl this year, those offers are now going to be $2 and $3 million, right? Just in a couple of years. So eventually, the money's going to get too good for him to not do anything. But you know, it is what it is right now. Let's see. Yeah, man, Herbert said a lot of endorsement deals coming up soon. Yeah, exactly. A lot of endorsement deals are going to come up soon. He's breaking records already. Um, the Charger fans just in LA are really, everybody talks about how much the Chargers don't have fans and all of this stuff. The fans in LA, it's really starting to be. They're really the fans in LA are really starting to come out. I was expecting to see everybody, the media is talking about, oh, the Chargers don't have any fans, and it's 80-20 or whatever, this and that. The game I went to last year against the Browns, there was more Charger fans in there than Browns fans. It was 60. It was probably 60-40 Charger fans to Brown fans, right? And you're gonna expect to get a lot of fans in LA. LA's a destination city. People are gonna make a vacation out of it, right? They're gonna fly out early on Thursday. They're gonna go to Disneyland. They're gonna go to whatever, maybe a Dodger game if it's in season. They're gonna go check out Hollywood. They're gonna do all that stuff. Then they're gonna come to the game on Sunday. So people are gonna fly out. You're gonna get a lot of fans from different cities that come to LA. So there's always gonna be fans there because it is a destination city. But the Charger fans were there, and they were there, and they were loud, and that stadium was rocking. SoFi Stadium was rocking. The Charger fans are there, man. They're there, and this coming season, the Charger fans are going to be there, and I think the Chargers are getting fans, and they are converting. For anybody who's saying that there ain't no, that is absolutely 100% false. The Chargers are converting a lot of fans, a lot. Let's see. Again, another reason why I think he'll take them. Team friendly deal with the boy. Be paid either way. Exactly. Yes. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid a lot. He's gonna get paid a lot, but yeah, those endorsement deals off the field, they're gonna get too good to pass up. Way too good to pass up. And he's squeaky clean, so he can work with anybody. Any company can come up to him with a blank check and say, "Here you go." Because they don't have to worry about him. He doesn't have the Deshaun Watson stench on him. He's a squeaky clean, all-American white boy from Oregon, right? Superstar quarterback. He's gonna get a lot of deals, and yeah, he's gonna make a lot of money. Let's see. San Diego fans could be back now. They will start to give us yeah. Definitely, the fans were from San Diego. They were really upset, but I mean, it is what it is, right? The whole stadium thing was just it was a big mess, and once everything was going on, I knew it was going to be a big mess, and I knew the Chargers were not going to last in San Diego. The people of San Diego did not want to pay for a stadium, and yeah, man, it really, it was a mess. It was a total mess. But the stadium, the Chargers needed a new stadium in San Diego, man. Qualcomm Stadium, Jack Murphy, whatever you want to call it, it's a piece of crap. It was an eyesore. My sister used to live across the street in the apartments across the street from there, so I seen it several times, and just driving around it, man, everything was it just looked like it was dilapidated, and literally in the middle of kind of nowhere as well too. Like the location was weird and stuff. Like just for where we are now, that stadium was not going to cut it. There was too much money that they had to put into it, too many repairs to have, it just wasn't going to be a good stadium, right? And, especially if you want to take your team to the next level, right? You want your fans to come out, and support and pay premium prices. Your stadium can't look like crap. So the Chargers got a good sweetheart deal, right? They pay $1 a year, right, to rent SoFi Stadium from the Rams. So it was a no-brainer. Everybody talked a lot of crap about it, but the fans are starting to come back now. The San Diego fans are starting to come back, and you have to support, right? You're a Charger fan, right? You've been a Charger fan your whole life. If you live in San Diego and all that stuff, you've been a Charger fan, you're going to come out to games now. You're going to want to come see Justin Herbert play. You're going to want to come and see this defense play. You're going to want to see Khalil Mack get sacks this year. You're going to want to see everybody eat this year. You just can't stay away for too much longer, right? The Chargers have really done a really good job. They've done a really, really good job in rebuilding the brand, right? The social media people are off the chain. They do a lot of good stuff on there. Um, the Chargers are building fans. They are building fans. They're going to continue converting in LA too. LA is a breeding ground of fans too. Remember, the NFL wasn't in the LA market for, what was it, 30 years or whatever it was. There's a lot of people that live in LA who were not into football or just casual football fans, don't really have a team. The Chargers are building. They are building. They are doing what the Clippers thought they were going to do a few years ago. They're really building, and they could become LA's team this year, right? I know everybody's still on the Rams. They won the Super Bowl and all that stuff, but you know, I mean, I guess I guess it's exciting football, but the Chargers really are the premium team in LA at this moment. As far as you know, just being exciting, the Chargers are that team right now. No doubt about it to me. Chargers social media, they're killing it. Yep, they're getting casual fans. Yeah, they are. They are. They are. They're doing a really good job. They're the best by far the best social media, um, you know, team in sports. They really are. Really are. They do a lot of out of the box stuff, and a lot of people like what they do. They get talked about all the time. ESPN, on FS1, all the shows. They get talked about a bunch. So I really, really like what they do. See, what are your thoughts on all this Bando stuff with the lawsuits? I was gonna make a video about that. Um, I think it's all. To be honest with you, and I mean it's not politically correct, but I think it's much ado about nothing. Like, how can you sue somebody for being misogynistic? I just don't understand that. Like, there is no for being allegedly misogynistic. Let me preface my comments by saying allegedly misogynistic. I just don't understand what. There's no. There's no see, and the civil courts are pretty much an extension of the criminal courts, right? Um, there's just no criminal things happening in there, but I don't know. I would think that if you're going to file a lawsuit, it has to be based in something that is not objective, and being misogynistic, quote unquote, is objective. Like, it doesn't. There's nothing that says that you are a misogynist or any, like, there's no book of misogyny. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you have to be able to prove things beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, from civil court is just a preponderance of evidence, but I don't know, man. It's just to label somebody like that. Oh, hey, you're a misogynist, so I'm going to sue you. To me, it doesn't seem like the lawsuit has a lot of merit. I can't remember who the reporter was, but she went on Twitter saying that I've never seen Dean Spanos act in a misogynistic way and all of this stuff. So, there is a witness, a character witness right there who can, pretty much throw any water on any of the claims that he's been, accused of. I don't know. I think it's just much ado about nothing. Normally this type of stuff happens with the ownership of sports teams and stuff, like, but normally it happens when people pass away. So this is kind of weird going on right now. I don't know. And I guess she wants him removed as the owner or something. It seems like it is a family quarrel that has, when rich people get into when rich people and their families get into it, it normally goes to court. And you see it with Donald Trump and stuff. He sued some of his family members before. There have been other rich people who sue their family members. Like, they don't just have a conversation and get their things out. They sue each other. So I think this is one of those situations. I honestly don't think that there's anything behind this. And I don't know how you prove that somebody's being misogynistic in court. Like, there's just no way to prove that. Like, if I don't know. I don't know, unless you have like some tape recordings or something like that. But it's much ado about nothing, to be honest with you. It really is. Let's see. Yeah, LA market's still wide open. Rams ain't running. Yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely is. Definitely, especially once Aaron Donald retires and Matt Stafford goes away. Yeah, this is going to be a very wide, very wide open market. See, when you made the move, all this for him to put the money he said back. Yeah, right. Exactly. And I haven't been the biggest fan of him either, but things are going pretty damn well right now. He's responsible for hiring this coach, right? And we all think that this coach is we think that he's pretty good, right? And we think that he's the guy that's going to move the Chargers in the right direction. And so far, everything has been positive, right? Since Staley has came in, everything has been positive, right? There was ups and downs in the season last year, but as far as building a culture, this is the right guy, and the Chargers are on the right track. They are on the right track. There might be some holes, some gaps to fill in here and there, but they're on the right track now. You have your star quarterback. You have star defensive players. You have your star tackle. This is going clearly trending in the right direction. So, as much flack as people have given Dean Spanos over the years, he deserves credit because he is overseeing this. This is going in the right direction. This is what Charger fans have wanted for a really long time, and now it's happening. So we can't just say, this is not. No, he's presiding over it, so he does deserve some credit. Like I said, he got the sweetheart deal with the stadium and stuff. So you're able to move into a market for no money, move into a huge market with no money. Now you have star players who are starting to make a name for themselves around the city, around the county, and all that stuff. The Chargers are making money. Dean Spanos is making money, and this is what, like I said, this is what the fans have always wanted. It's just the San Diego fans wanted it in San Diego, but hey, why cry over spilled milk? But things are going in the right direction. They definitely are. Let's see, and he's done that in a couple of years. While the state of our facility, exactly. The Chargers are going to be in LA in 2024, right? They're going to be out there in the El Segundo area. They're going to be next to the Lakers facility and out there towards the beach cities and stuff. So they are going to be an integral part of the LA fabric, and I think that is huge as well too, because I see there's a lot of people who say the Chargers, especially when they first moved, having the facility be down there in Costa Mesa. They are not. I mean, technically they're not. They play in LA, but technically they are like the Orange County Chargers. And I've heard a lot of people criticize that because they're so far away from the city. They're coming back to the city now. They're coming back within the city limits. They're coming back. That's where the Lakers facility has been for the longest time, right? The new facility, the old facility, that's where they've been. They're going to be in the fabric of LA, right? And they're going to be doing more stuff in LA, right? Obviously, the team's going to be doing more stuff in LA. They're laying down roots in LA, and I think that is a great thing for the Chargers, and it's going to only grow the fan base from there, right? You people watch the games, they tune in on Sundays and they see some exciting play and all that stuff, and then they turn off the TV and the Chargers not around the city. That's going to change. That's going to change in a couple of years. You're going to have star players in the city doing things in the city, right? They're going to be sitting courtside at Laker games, right? They're going to be doing all this stuff around the city. They're going to be doing the Make-A-Wish stuff that they do. They're going to be opening up the children's playgrounds and the rec centers and all that stuff. The Chargers are going to be in LA. They're going to be a part of the fabric of the city, and I think a lot of people don't understand that, and I think they underestimate that. That's going to be huge. Even the Rams are out in like Thousand Oaks, so that's not really like a part of. It's not really a part of. I mean, I guess you could say it is LA, but it's not out. It's not where the people are, right? It's not where the fans are. Thousand Oaks is out there. That's the Kardashians and the rich people are out there. Like the Chargers are going to be in the city, right? Going to be in El Segundo, right? People are going to be living in They're going to be out there in Manhattan Beach. They're going to be all around the city. They're going to be around the city of LA, and that's going to be huge. Especially when it comes to getting new fans, right? Getting guys and girls, right, to put on the jersey, to put on the shirt, right, to put on the hat. That's going to be huge, very, very huge, very underrated thing. So you just imagine what it would have been like. Chargers have never moved. When you're in LA, I don't know what it would have. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like this could have been a powerhouse. Yes, yes, it could have, but I think Brandon Staley is a guy who I think he's coming with he's looking at this team as untapped potential, and I think he's the right guy that the Chargers want moving forward because he understands, he's the only coach, um, pretty much. I mean, at least in my lifetime as a Charger fan, he seems to understand and gravitate towards the gravity that the Chargers have just in Southern California. He seems like he has the his thumb on that, right? Going forward on fourth down and all that stuff. Like, this is prime time stuff, right? This is stuff that people call their friends to watch, right? This is not just regular, just same old Charger stuff. Like, this is prime time stuff. This is stuff that people want to watch. This is the type of football that people want to watch, and it's the type of entertainment that people love, especially around LA. So I think he is the guy. He's the guy that understands this, and I think he's going to play a big part in the success that the Chargers have because he's a young guy, right? He's a young guy. He understands this. He understands the flash. He understands you kind of have to have a little glitz and glamour on everything in LA. He understands that, right? LA loves a winner, but they love the glitz and the glamour as well too. They love the stars, and he's a guy. He pushes these stars to be stars, and there's not a lot of coaches who can understand that. All of these guys who we've had before as coaches, they're just coaches, and there's nothing wrong with them, but they don't understand the gravity of being in LA. And I think Brandon Staley has shown that he actually understands the gravity of that. He does a really good job of that, and I'm looking forward. To seeing what he can do. Even going down the road. I think he's done a great job of that. Not just being a coach, but understanding we got some stars here, and let's push these stars to the front of the line. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Do you think we ever break away and build our own stadium? No, I don't think. Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. For the foreseeable future, no. I don't think that is. I don't think it would be smart. Because I mean, SoFi Stadium is really a beautiful. It's a beautiful place to watch a football game, and unless you're going to build something that's going to rival that, I don't think so. Yeah, and it's $1. They're paying $1 in rent, so they are there for free. So I don't think Spanos is. I don't think he's looking at. I don't think he's looking at building a stadium. That dollar rent, as opposed to shelling out what $6 to $7 billion for a stadium. I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think that would be smart at all. Have success in this stadium. Have as much success as you can, right? Try to get to Super Bowls. Try to hang up banners and all that stuff that you can. If they can do that, then maybe in 10 to 15 years, maybe. But I just don't. I don't see it happening. I really don't. Let's see. Everything Chargers is LA from our colors to the name Chargers. We got them ties to USC. I don't think a lot of people know. Yeah. There's a lot of Southern California ties, and again, there is a lot of football fans in LA. There are a lot of people who have not rooted for a football team in a very very long time, and this team. When you turn on the TV, when you watch them, when they're in these exciting games, when they're going for it on fourth down, when they're giving you exciting brand of football, this is going to get fans. It always has. It always has. You're always going to get fans with an exciting brand of football. That's why there's so many Chiefs fans popping up out of nowhere, right? Because, as much as as overrated as I think they've been for a while, they play exciting football. Mahomes plays exciting football. They put him on commercials and all that stuff, and he has garnered a lot of fans. And they won a Super Bowl, and they have a lot of fans now. And I think the same could be said about the Chargers. Even their reach is even larger than the Chiefs is, though. If the Chargers win the Super Bowl, they're going to get a lot of fans because they play exciting football. They do all of the things that football fans love to see, and they are just in a newerish market for them, but the money's there, the fans are there. People just want to see exciting football, and I I think the Chargers are going to give them that going forward. Especially in SoFi Stadium. They're going to be competing with the Rams, the Battle of LA. That's always a good thing, right? The Lakers and the Clippers, they do that, right? Even though the Lakers are clearly the number one team, but that Battle of LA stuff is good for the Clippers. It's good for the Clippers brands, right? When they can come out and they can beat an LA Lakers, it's good for their brand. It doesn't do a whole lot as far as getting them fans and all that stuff, but it's great for their brand because you have two competent teams in the same area. So, that's always a good thing. Let's see. I wouldn't mind if we built something in Anaheim, like the Angels or something. Like I said, I don't think so, man. Anaheim is not good. It's not a good. I don't know if you've ever been to an Angels game, but it, there's no buzz in Anaheim, and Anaheim is one of the worst places to go. You know, especially considering the. If we just put it out there, right? I don't know if you watch baseball or not. The best baseball player in baseball plays in Anaheim, and nobody cares. Two of the best, actually two of them, two of the best baseball players in Anaheim playing, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. They rarely fill up a stadium. I lived in Anaheim for a short time, and people just don't care. Like they don't give a crap about the Angels. Um, One of the games I went to, there was like, I don't even know how many people were there. Like maybe 20,000, maybe 22,000 or something like that. It wasn't. There was no juice there. It just felt like I was, I don't know, maybe watching a minor league game or something. No, nobody, nobody cared. Like it was just whatever. And they had stars. Like they had Albert Pujols at the time. They had Mike Trout. I can't remember which other guys they had, but they did have some stars at the time. And I was just like, man, this is nothing like a Dodger game. So Anaheim is probably the worst place for a professional team to go. So let's see. I think the reason the Chargers are more attractive choices around is because the Chargers are built to win in the future as well as now. Exactly. You have a younger quarterback. You have a younger roster, a younger like core of star players, right? Derwin James is still young. Joey Bosa is still young. You have that young core. You have a young coach. Yeah, I think they are built to win in the future, and I think the division also has something to do with it as well too, right? You got Russell Wilson is in the division now too, so you have Patrick Mahomes in the division. These guys are all going to come to LA and play at least one game, during the season, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it as well too. These are going to be big, huge primetime games, so the juice is going to be there, right? You don't even have to say anything, to show any commercials. You already know, okay, Mahomes versus Herbert in LA on a Sunday or a Thursday, whatever it is, it's juice. It's juice. So, that's always going to be there for the Chargers. The Rams, not so much. Let's see. Well, the Rams are wait now, worry about it later. Yeah, exactly. Clippers are still trash. Oh, yeah. The Angels suck, but if they were good, they would get more attention. I don't know. The Angels won a World Series, and nobody still cares. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You cannot. I don't. I'm not a big believer in that because Anaheim, the biggest attraction in Anaheim, is Disneyland. It's Disneyland, and that's what people go to Anaheim for. And it's going to be hard to compete with that because I found that most people that go to Disneyland don't care about sports. It's either you're into sports or you're a Disney fanatic, and those two things just really don't. They don't cross. Like there's no history there. Like the reason why the SoFi Stadium is in Inglewood is because there is such a rich history of sports there. Right, the Forum is right across the street. Everybody went to several games, several Laker games at the Forum. There's a buzz in the air. People care about winning. You see all of the championship rafter, championship banners all in the rafters. You see the retired jerseys. There is juice there. People care about it because there's winning. Winning happened across the street, and a lot of people who are tourists or whatever, when they pull up to SoFi Stadium, they don't even know that the Forum is across the street, right? They can look and say, "Oh man, that's where Magic, that's where Kareem, that's where they won the championships at. That's where they had so many, rivalry games, so many rivalry finals games with the Celtics and whatnot, championships happened across the street. So if I say them being in Inglewood makes a lot of sense. Um, there's no there's not a lot of that going on in Anaheim. When people pull up to Anaheim, they say, "Oh, it's Disneyland." They're not going to care that you know the Anaheim Ducks or whatever play there or what. Nobody's going to care. Like the Clippers were in Anaheim for a little while. I still remember that, and nobody cared. Like they had to move they had to move them back to the Staples Center because they just people don't care. People are Disney fanatics in Anaheim, and that's pretty much what Anaheim is about. It's about Disneyland and not much else. Like I said, I lived there for a short period of time. I didn't come across a lot of sports fans. I think the only time people really showed that they even acknowledged sports was when I think the Ducks were like in the playoffs or something. I don't watch hockey, but they don't care. Like people just don't care. Anaheim is an abyss to go to if you're a sports team. The Angels should actually, I think that they should move. They should consider moving. That would be, the best for them. They should probably try to go to Vegas or something. They have the best player in baseball and nobody cares about him. And that's not great. It's not great. Let's see. Daniel Hudson out for the season. Yeah, I've seen that. Disneyland Country. Yep. Since how Disney works with the Dodgers instead. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Herbert will be the Don of Disneyland. Oh man, it's just they don't. It doesn't matter. Like people just don't care. People just don't care about Disneyland at all. Like, I mean, people don't care about anything else at Disneyland. Like, I've seen, and I'll be honest, I worked at Disneyland for like a month when I lived in Anaheim. It was terrible. I didn't like it at all. But these people are different, man. They are of a different ilk. They don't. People who are like super into Disney or not, they don't care about reality at all. Like there was some when I worked there, when I got hired there was some girl who quit her six-figure job. She had like a six-figure job at like Sony or something like that. She quit her six-figure job to play Snow White or something for like I don't know 20 hours a week or something like that. And she was overjoyed with it. She was like crying tears when we were in the orientation and stuff because they were walking us around and all that stuff. These people are weird. Like I'll just be honest with you, and I'm not saying everybody that goes to Disneyland is weird. I do want to take my daughter there and all that stuff, and me and my wife do plan to, but the people that just love Disneyland, they don't. You cannot have a successful sports franchise there because these people would not even know. They wouldn't even know who Justin Herbert was. The Disney fanatics don't care. Like the there was there was like several celebrities who had like taken their kids to Disneyland one day, and people didn't know who they were. Like Angelina Jolie, I remember seeing her, and there were a couple people that I worked with who didn't know who she was. Now she is a world-renowned actress. She's been in a lot of movies, right? They didn't know who she was. They were like, "Oh, we didn't know who she is. I don't know." And she was there with a bunch of kids. Nobody. There was several people who I worked with who didn't know what she was. They were just like Disney fanatics, and that even then I was like, wow. And I always wondered why the Angels struggled. But when I worked there at Disneyland, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it now. These people don't care about anything else. There was there was a lady who worked with. Well, I didn't work with her. She wasn't in my department, but I knew who she was. She was always cheery, always just so peppy, and she was like a super Disney freak. Collected a whole bunch of Disney stuff. Did a lot of like I don't know scrapbooking or what I don't know whatever it is that these Disney people do. She was homeless. Somebody told me that she was homeless one day, and I was like, what? So how did she come to work? And she parked her car in the parking lot, and she would go take showers at the 24-hour fitness that was not too far away or something like that, or the Planet Fitness, one of them. but she would go and take her showers there. I guess she would just go, you know, one of the restaurants or something for food, but she actually slept in her car. And she did not want to get another job because she loved Disney so much, and she collected all these pins and all of these different items that Disney had, and she had all of this stuff. And I never seen her trunk, but apparently somebody helped her with some bags to her car one day, and she had just like a whole Disney setup in her trunk. And yeah, with like a complete weirdo. Like, but she was homeless and she was happy doing that just because she worked at Disney. So, and that's why I was like, okay, I kind of get why people don't like sports around here, because either you're a Disney freak or you're a normal person. And there was a lot of Disney freaks around there, a lot, like so many. I couldn't even believe. That's why I didn't work there long enough, because I couldn't get with that. I'm not a Disney freak. I don't watch Disney movies. Like the Disney movies that I watched, I was like 7 or 8. But I don't get into that. It was just a job to me. But to a lot of people, it wasn't just a job. It was like a lifestyle, and weirdos. But yeah, that's why stuff cannot happen in Anaheim, because people don't like things that are not Disney in Anaheim. So yeah, like that Honda Center. Yeah, you're right. I just feel like it could be where we make our mark. If Disney wasn't there, then possibly yes. But these weirdos, man, they will not they will not take kindly to anything that is not Disney. If the Chargers went there and they weren't playing in Mickey Mouse uniforms, nobody would care whatsoever at all. Uh, yeah, that's why I thought maybe moving to Anaheim would get it done. Nah, it's just not. It's just Anaheim is a breeding ground for Disney people, and that's it. That's it. Didn't Disney own the Angels at one point? Yeah, they did. They did. I remember that. I remember they went to. I remember they did the jerseys all crazy too. I remember. Yeah. They Six Flags more anyway. Camp soon. Yes, training camp very very soon. They opened. They're gonna be opening, I think, 8 or 9 practices. Um, I'm gonna try to get down for one of those practices. I'll probably try to do like some live streaming from there as well too. I just don't know which date yet. I think it opens on the 26th or 27th. I want to say. I screenshotted one of the flyers that I see. But yes, training camp coming very soon. I'm gonna be making some more videos about training camp, about what the probably the 3 or 4 biggest stories going into training camp. Obviously, number one, right tackle. Right, who's gonna start at right tackle? That is the by far and large the biggest story. Who's gonna start at right tackle? Number two for me, I think, how does the offense flow? Do they pick up from last year, or is there a philosophy change? I'm going to be curious to know that. I want to see, because I personally think that the Chargers are going to win the ball a lot more this year, and I think that is going to be a point of emphasis. But we will see. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that happens throughout the whole season. But I do think that they start the season off running the ball, pretty much. Not all game, but really establishing a physical presence. Um, and I know who. Let's see, what's another story? Pretty much what the defense does, how the defense really adjusts. All the new players, and I want to see that. I want to see how that is going to go. San Diego just got Snapdragon Stadium. Yeah, that's that little stadium. Excuse me, the little stadium that. I think it was on the grounds of Qualcomm, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's that little stadium, and it's like an extension of the San Diego State campus as well too. It looks pretty nice, but and last time I checked, was it done? Sea Dog, is it done yet? Because last time I checked, I think that they were still building it, but I haven't checked recently. But the renderings look pretty nice. Let's see. Tell you, man, keep an eye on running back Kevin Marks. Get beat undrafted. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been hearing about him. I watched his tape too as well. He's talented. He's very talented. I think he's West Virginia, right? He came out of West Virginia. Um, he's talented, but you know the only thing is that with the rookie running backs, the only thing that keeps them off the field is pass pro, is pass protection. Can he pass protect? If he can pass protect, then he will be he'll get some time and he'll be able to show his talent. Um, but yeah, it's just pass protection, and I think you know in the Chargers offense now, I think that's where a lot of the struggling running backs, like I think Josh Kelly, Larry Roundtree, they didn't have good seasons last year because I think they struggled in pass protection. Um, this offense is, I think it's a little complex for the running backs. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that. The blocking schemes are, they seem a little bit harder to pick up on. And I did that video not too long ago. Austin Eckler had like 4.5 yards a carry, and both of the backups had like 2 yards a carry. So they were not like, and you know, there's the same offensive line blocking for all these guys. So I don't think they picked up on I don't think they picked up on like the nuances of what the offense was, and you know I don't know if it's just their fault. I don't know if it's complex, but it seems to be a little complex because um, a lot of the running schemes that the Chargers run, they came from New Orleans, and I know New Orleans had a kind of a complex offense with Drew Brees. Um, so I don't know. We'll see if he can pass protect. If he can pass protect, then he'll definitely get into the games. Let's see. No, that's the other running back. He's from Buffalo. Okay, from Buffalo. Guy from West Virginia. Guy from West Virginia. Lady Brown's the other. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Excited to watch Nas. He's so underrated and overlooked because we have studs everywhere. But if you catch and drills, man, you can go. Yes, 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 yes. I agree, man. I agree. I like Adderley. I like his I like his demeanor and I like how aggressive he plays. Um, but yeah, he did drop a lot of interceptions last year. I can think of like two off the bat that he dropped. Um, yeah, no, he's a pretty good player, and I think he's ascending as well too. I think he's getting better. But I think he is a guy who I think he really excels when Derwin James is in the lineup. Remember his rookie year, I don't think he played that much, but Derwin James was out that year. I remember that. That's when he wore like number 32 in the old jerseys. Um, and you know, I think he when Derwin James is out there, I think he helps. He had a pretty decent second year, but this past year, you know, he was always in pretty good position, and I think he did. I think he has learned a lot from Derwin James. I think he is. Excuse me. I think he is a little bit more of. I think he struggles though because he's so aggressive as a free safety. You know, he kind of takes a step forward when he should be, you know, backpedaling sometimes. So I think sometimes he can get caught out of position, but he's aggressive. He's a big hitter. I like his aggressiveness. I think, you know, if he gets coached up, I think he can be really, really good. I think he can be a Pro Bowler. Very, very good. Very, very talented. Yeah, yeah, he hits hard to tell. Yeah, he is. Top five big hitters on the. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. He's probably like top three. Um, he's always trying to dislodge somebody from the ball. That's why I really like him. If he can just you know be a little more cognizant of where he is as far as you know his coverage, then I think he can have a Pro Bowl season for sure for sure. Let's see. Now being that our offense gave him, do you ever see Easton Stick being like that Hill? Oh no, absolutely not. No, I don't think so. Taysom Hill is Taysom Hill should be a backup tight end. They have like overexposed him a little bit. I don't think he can't. There's no guy who can play. There's nobody who can be a Swiss Army knife in the NFL. I think that is a pipe dream. I think guys do that at the college level, but I think in the NFL is just too aggressive. Um, I don't know if you remember Eric Weddle in college when Eric Weddle played at Utah. They kind of used him like in a Taysom Hill role at Utah. I remember him playing offense too as well. But he came in, he focused on one position, right? Safety. He was really, really good for us. I don't think it's just not. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how strong you are. For you to go out there and to take multiple hits at multiple positions, right? Because that's the one thing about the NFL, right? If you're going to play tight end, you're going to catch passes. You're going to get hit differently than when you run the ball, and you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit differently than when you play quarterback as well, too. So the accumulation of all those hits is going to take a toll on your body. You're not going to be able to be good at anything, right? I think he should be a backup tight end. I don't even think he should be starting because I don't. He hasn't played that his entire career, so I don't think that he can be that effective at tight end. But I don't know, man. I don't see Easton Stick as being. That's why I made the video a couple weeks ago. I think the Chargers should let Easton Stick go. Now, if the Chargers are planning on having him as the second quarterback, then I think they keep him around. But they gotta let him go, be somewhere else because I think Easton Stick can play, and I think he can have an opportunity to play. Maybe the a place that stands out to me right now is Philadelphia, right? Maybe he can push Jalen Hurts for the starting position, right? He seems like he can throw better than Jalen Hurts. He has some mobility as well too. If the Chargers, if he's not the long term backup, then the Chargers should trade him, be able to get a draft pick or whatever, and then they can also free up a position to carry another offensive lineman for this season. Just to make sure that you're keeping Justin Herbert as protected as you possibly can. But yeah, no, I don't see Easton Stick being anything like Taysom Hill. Let's see exactly. Yeah, he needs Derwin. Yes. He goes 100 and he misses a lot because of it. Yes. Excited to watch. Besides Mac Jones. Let's see. I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to my I'm really excited for Gerald Everett. I think Gerald Everett hasn't had the opportunity to be a star tight end in this league, and I think he has all the tools. I think he has the speed. I think he has the suddenness, the quickness. He can get in and out of routes really quick. Right, he can stop on a dime. His breaks are good in and out of routes. And I think he is going to benefit from having Justin Herbert as his quarterback. I think this is going to be his best quarterback ever, right, that he's played with so far in his career, right? He's had Jared Goff, and he's had Russell Wilson, and he had Geno Smith for a little while. So I'm excited to see what he does. His hands are, to me, his hands are a lot better than Jared Cook was. Jared Cook had more experience, right? Jared Cook had really big seasons in the NFL, but I think Gerald Everett, I think he has the mixture that you need to be a really good tight end, right? And he's physical too. He's not the tallest guy, but he's well put together. And he's physical. He can block a little bit. That's not going to be his primary duty, but I think he is going to have a very, very good season. I think Donald Parham, as the number 2 tight end, I think he's going to have a really good season too. Especially when the Chargers want to go 2 tight ends. You got both guys that can run routes, and then you still have the blocking tight end Trey McKitty too. I'm excited for the tight end position in general. I think this is going to be a big season for the Chargers tight end position because you have the blocker, you have both guys that can run routes, you have both guys that can catch. So I think this is going to be a very, very good season for the tight ends. That's the one position that nobody's really talking about right now, but I think it's going to be very good season to have a reliable tight end. Jared Cook was okay, but he dropped a lot of passes, and it's frustrating, right? It's all frustrating for fans. I'm sure it's frustrating for Herbert and the coaching staff and everybody else. I'm excited to watch the tight end position. I think that we're going to get a lot of good production from the tight end position. So I'm excited to watch that. Definitely excited to watch that. Let's see what else we got here. Season ticket is pretty good, man. From what in preseason where he can be, he is pretty good. He is pretty good. But my thing is that if he is not going to be the long-term backup, what is he doing on our roster? Because he's never going to get on the field. Remember, Justin Herbert has been, and I knock on wood, but he's been durable, right? He's shown the Phillip Rivers durability, and he went to go get buff this offseason. So I don't expect Justin Herbert to be out a lot, if at all. So if Easton Stick is not going to, play for us. And I'm sure he can have some value, in the quarterback room and all of that stuff. But to be honest with you, what is Easton Stick going to teach Justin Herbert about football that he doesn't already know? Nothing really. So I like him as a long-term backup because I think his skills are similar to what Herbert has, and I'm a big believer in having a quarterback. I'm a big believer in having your backup quarterback have similar skills to what your starter does. So if he is in the long term plans as the backup, I'm all for it. But if he's not, they just brought back Chase Daniel. Unless they're going to cut Chase Daniel, maybe they possibly do. I mean, that would be the best, I think. Um, Chase Daniel can transition into coaching or whatever he wants to do. But if you have Easton Stick as a backup, then I think we're in good shape. Um, but if you're not, if you're just gonna mess around and just have this guy on the roster, and if he's the third quarterback and he doesn't bring any really any value, then I think you should trade him, right? You should try to get a pick and you should try to carry another offensive lineman. But I think he is a good backup, and I want him as our backup. Hopefully, the team sees it the same way that I do. He's just not a Swiss Army knife type of guy. Yeah, and he's not. You don't want to put your quarterback out, your backup quarterback out there to get exposed like that and to get hit. He's athletic, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't. Do you want Easton Stick, running a route over the middle and getting blasted by Bobby Wagner or somebody? I don't. Like, it's just why? There's no reason for that. Let's see. See what we got here. See, I just wonder why we keep Easton around if he's never going to get in the game. He might get cut this year. Exactly. I don't think he gets cut. I think you have to trade him because he has value. He has value, and he's put a lot of good tape. He's put a lot of good tape out there in the preseason, and I expect him to put more good tape out there in this preseason. So he has value. He's not just going to get cut. There's going to be a team, like I said, he can push for being a starter somewhere. Philadelphia, he can push Jalen Hurts, for being a starter. He can push Jameis Winston in New Orleans, possibly. Um, Even if you're looking at, possibly Tampa Bay or something, right? If they know that Brady's going to retire, let's bring this kid in, right? Maybe he can do something. Maybe he can push who they have there, Blaine Gabbert or Kyle Trask. He can push for a starting position somewhere. So he has a lot of, I think he has a lot of value going forward. So I don't think that the Chargers will just cut him like that. Let's see. Well, if I heard correctly, you can now protect the 3 players in the practice squad. Yeah. But I think I don't know, man. It's depending on how the season goes, and right, we can already factor in injuries, right? There's injuries that are going to happen. We just hope that they're not going to be serious and career threatening or season threatening, right? I think those players are going to vary from you know, person to person. I think some guys are going to get called up, right? And if a protected guy gets called up, then now he's on the NFL roster, so he's not protected anymore. So I don't know how it goes back. Like if you send the guy back down to the practice squad, if he's still protected, those rules are kind of like I don't know. They're a little muddy, but I don't know. Plus, I don't think you keep him on the practice squad. I don't know. I really don't know. If they're not going to use him, they should just trade him. But he should be the backup quarterback at this point right now. He should be the backup quarterback, and I think Chase Daniel. We should be waving goodbye to Chase Daniel. Say true. Let's see. True. I feel like he's just that good. That's why I keep him around. Yes, they should keep him around. He should be our backup. They should not mess around with anything like that. Not sure if all this thing. Yeah. Wow, they changed it. Cool. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that might have only been for the COVID season, but that's just definitely still be it. Yeah, I don't know if it's even still going to be a thing. We'll see what happens coming up. Let's see. Herbo loves 2 tight ends. We've seen that. Makes me miss Hunter Henry. Never forget when he said he wanted to play a good when he said he wanted a good quarterback to play with. Yeah, I'm not. I know a lot of Charger fans liked Hunter Henry. I was not that big of a fan of his. I don't know. I don't know. I thought he was just mediocre. Um, and it turns out he has been pretty mediocre in his career. You know, he's like average. You know, pretty average to me. You know, he doesn't have a lot of speed. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the most athletic guy. I mean, he doesn't do anything exceptional. He's just kind of there. You know, sometimes he gets open, sometimes he doesn't. I don't think losing him was that big of a deal. Jared Cook, you know, even with all his drops and all his faults, he had a way better season than Hunter Henry ever had for the Chargers. Um, so I don't think that we lost a lot with Hunter Henry. I mean, he's just whatever. Gerald Everett is much more talented than Hunter Henry is. So, like I said, I think the tight end position is going to have a good season this season. But yeah, I don't miss Hunter Henry at all. I heard Stone Smart or Stone is making a name for himself so far. I can't. Stone. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I read something about that, or just glanced over it. Yeah, but you know it's OTAs right now, so we'll see when they put the pads on and strap it up. Um, you know, there are a lot of things that come out of OTAs. You know, I know a lot of teams are, you know, the guys who they feel are going to be on the bubble. The teams will put out good things about them. You know, so hopefully it raises their trade value a little bit. You know, or you know, especially when it comes to cut day. You know, I know a lot of teams. You know, they cut a lot of guys, but there are some guys who they feel like maybe they can get some trade value out of. So I don't know. You know, we'll see what happens going forward. You know, especially in camp and once the preseason starts, then we'll be able to see who really is balling for real and not just having the team put out good press about them. Let's see, Yaz though, Henry for that. Yeah. Let's see, and then he signs up to play with. Yeah. With Cam and Mac Jones. I mean, Hunter Henry, he's whatever. Like he's not a guy that he's a replaceable player. You know, he's not. I don't know. I know a lot of fans thought he was going to be the second coming of Antonio Gates, but he was not that. He's nothing close to that. He's just there. Like I don't know. He got a lot of money from the Patriots. I was surprised about that. Um, you know, because he didn't really have great seasons for the Chargers. You know, I thought Bill Belichick overpaid him. Um, but yeah, it's good. I'm glad he's gone. You know, I'm glad he's not taking up any cap space for us. So, is it Eli Stone? Is it Eli Stone? I think it is. I can't remember his name, but I remember reading something about Stone. Just glancing over some article about Stone. See, I think with all the depth we have now, we only keep 2 quarterbacks and 4 total running backs. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, with the fullback in there, yeah. Who is it? Horvath. Xander Horvath, or that's going to be a battle too. Xander Horvath or Gabe Neighbors. I think whoever is the better receiver is probably going to win that battle. Let's see, Chase is the backup slash coach. He should just be a coach because his skill set doesn't resemble Herbert at all. See, Hunter was a chain mover and he was hurt way too much. Was he that good though? I don't know. Jared Cook is not a good tight end to me anymore, and Jared Cook had a way better season than Hunter Henry ever had for the Chargers. I don't know, man. I don't know how many corners we keep around. Oh man, I think we keep like. I think they probably keep 6 corners. I think they probably keep 6. I think one of the drafted guys, one of the 7th round pick, was it Leonard, Dean Leonard? I think he probably might be a bubble guy. It just depends on what they do in camp. If they really see like some potential in them, then they are going to keep them around on the practice squad possibly. But I think they keep 6 corners around. I don't know, maybe 7. We'll see what Staley wants to do. If there is a lot of if there's going to be a lot of exotic stuff going on within the offense and stuff, then I think that they keep maybe possibly 7 corners, but I don't know. We'll see. This is going to be a very very tough camp. It's going to be very tough when cuts come. Let's see. Hunter is like top 5 tight end for money. For yeah yeah yeah. He was not worth the money that he wanted at all. Patriots deal now exactly. Let's see. Mike will have a huge. He was neck and neck with Keenan last year. 100%. Yeah, I think so. I think he has a big year. I think he continues his. I think he continues to ascend as a route runner as well too. I think that was the most impressive thing with Mike Williams last year was his route running because he's a big dude. When you have and normally the big guys have just been on the outside, running the simple routes, right? The comebacks, the go routes and stuff like that. He's running across the middle of the field. That's hard to deal with if you're a DB, if you're a linebacker. If you're a linebacker, bigger linebacker, you're too slow. If you're a DB, you're too small. So I think his route running last year was the most impressive thing because he didn't run those routes in the other offenses that the Chargers ran. Even Herbert's rookie year, right? I just remember Mike Williams going down, the field on go routes, and that's all I remember him running: go routes, comebacks, maybe some posts and stuff like that. He was all over the field running routes last season. I think that was impressive for him being as big as he is. And he really showed his speed too. I think he ran like 4.5 when he came out of college, and he looked to be like 4.5, 4.4 because he was getting down the field. He was beating guys down the field for a lot of big plays. The game that I went to against the Browns, he had like 2 long touchdowns, and I think one was a busted coverage, but he was beating DBs down the field. So I was like, dang, I didn't know Mike could run like that. And when he's able to use his speed over the middle of the field as well too, and you have guys who are kind of shying away from him. They really don't want that collision with that big of a guy. So I think he's going to have a very very good season this season. I think he's going to be a beneficiary of an improved running game as well too. I think he's going to dominate his one-on-ones, and he's going to be a even bigger red zone target than he was last year. The Chargers can run the ball this year, inside the from 20 to 20, especially when you get into the red zone. Mike Williams is going to eat. He's going to eat. I'm very excited for him this year. Very, very excited. Let's see. Yeah, Keenan passing the torch. Yeah, he is. He is. But Keenan's still good though. Keenan's going to be able to play at a high level for a very long time. He's not a speed guy. He's never been a speed guy. But what he does the best is run routes, and he is able to calculate exactly where he needs to be to give the quarterback a good target. And he's always been that way. So he's going to be able to do this well into his 30s because he's not a speed guy. And you don't necessarily need to be a speed guy. If you know angles, if you're able to run routes, if you're able to, just be able to get open, right? Particularly in the middle of the field, I think he's going to have another good season as well too. He'll probably have another 100-catch season, right? Bar injury, he'll have another 100-catch season, and he'll still be balling. So he is passing the torch a little bit, but he's still got something left. All right, man, I'm hitting a good chat. Yes. Thank you so much, Elliot OG. Hopefully to catch you on here next time. I'm gonna be heading out a little bit as well too. Do you have a Discord? No, man, I don't have a Discord. Not yet. I'm gonna set all that stuff up a little later. I just wanted to go live for the first time really on here, but I'm gonna continue to do this, especially during the season, during games. I'm definitely gonna go live. I'm gonna give my commentary and stuff like that. Let's see. Keenan has in the lab shown how to run. Yeah. Yes. Yep. And Mike has learned a lot from Keenan Allen. He definitely has, and it showed last year. Exactly, you went from go route to every route. Yes. Keenan will always be him. He'll be here for a while, especially without speed. Yes. You don't need a lot of speed in the NFL, and that's what the Chargers. The fastest guy on the roster by 40 time, well at least offense, is Jalen Guyton, and he's the 4th receiver. So all of the other guys are not 4-4 guys, but they understand route running. They understand, catching the ball too, catch radius and all that stuff. They understand like the little subtle nuances, and that's why the Chargers have had so much success at the wide receiver position. They get guys who understand how to be wide receivers and not just speed demons, and I think that's very, very impressive. Let's see. Let me know when you make it. Discord. I love to join the chat. For sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely. I was talking to somebody about a Discord and some other things as well too. I know especially during the season, like I know those things are going to be blowing up, and we're going to have a lot of conversation on there. So yes, I will. When I do get it, yeah, when I get a Discord, I will definitely let you know about that. Let's see, big year feels different for us. Yes, yes, it does. It feels a lot different. The pressure's there, but I think it's good pressure though. Pressure makes diamonds. So we will see what happens this year. Let's see, we got route runners, not track runners, which has ups and downs. Yes, it does, but typically with route runners, they get open. They get open. And, even if it's a little window, if you have a quarterback of Herbert's talent, that's really all you need. I mean, you've seen in the fourth quarter of that Raiders game in week 18, um, when we came back to tie the game, these guys, they just got open just by a hair, and Herbert was able to put the ball where it needed to be. So, when you have guys who understand the wide receiver position, it really does. I think it makes it easier on the offense. It makes it a lot easier on the offense. Now, obviously, you want a speed guy in there running down the field, right? You would love to have a Tyreek Hill running down the hill, busting the defense wide open. But, every team doesn't have that. And I don't think it's all that necessary either. You look at the Rams last year, they won the Super Bowl really without a speed demon, right? I know Odell is, I know he's fast, but he's not as fast as he used to be. But Cooper Kupp is not a speed demon. Van Jefferson's not a speed demon. I don't think they had any guy on their wide receiver, roster that was running like 4.3. So it's just about angles, knowing where to be, how to present the targets at the quarterback. All of that little stuff that nobody really talks about, that's the stuff that wins. So, yeah. This Herbert is into golfing in a tournament today at 5 on Nickelodeon. Really? On Nickelodeon? Well, it should be fun to watch. Let's see. Yeah. Herbert's a funny man. You can tell the mic taps. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's definitely funny. He just doesn't show it. He seems like he is a reserved person. But, as the years go by, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's definitely going to show his funny side, once he lets his guard down a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. Let's see, man, it's been an hour and a half since I've been on here. Damn. All right, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and head off for now. Probably be back on here, possibly tomorrow or Monday. You going to games? Yes, I am going to games. I'm going to be covering some games this year, so I expect to be at several games. I might be going to the Raider game. I don't know yet, but I will for sure be at that Jacksonville game. And from there, I'm just going to have to. From there, I'm going to have to plan my schedule out. My wife is pregnant right now with our second child. Her due date is October 20th, so I don't want to I kind of want to be there for her like the last month. I definitely don't want to take her to any games. I don't want her being around a whole bunch of people pregnant, bumping into everybody and stuff like that. But I definitely will be at the Jacksonville game. And from there, I'm just gonna have to check my schedule. We'll have to see when my daughter is born, and well, I'll just go from there. I'm gonna try to play it by ear, but possibly the Raider game, and for sure the Jacksonville. And then after that, I'm just gonna have to kind of have to go from there. See how everybody is adjusting in my family. So be around the videos. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna be a 2-time dad. I have one beautiful daughter, and I'm gonna add a second one. So yeah, just trying to do the best that I can. It's definitely a learning experience every single day. You gotta learn something every day. And I'm always trying to improve. That's the biggest thing, is, trying to be the best dad that I can, but also improving and getting better every day. So kind of just like this YouTube thing. I just want to improve and just be as best as I can, best as I can. love to hear it. Bless. Thank you, C Dog. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you commenting, interacting. Definitely appreciate it. But I do. I like this live stream stuff. I like being able to talk about several different, subjects at a time. So I will definitely be back. Possibly on Monday. Let's see, stick with it. Yeah, possibly on Monday or whenever we have some news or whatever. I'll probably hop on here, and talk about it. Um, the Deshaun Watson stuff is coming up on Monday, so I might be back to talk about that as well too. So, but all right, man. All right, C Dog. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody who watched. I really appreciate it. Probably be back on Monday, do some more live streaming. Definitely going to be dropping more videos as well too. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Really can't thank you enough. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a good night, and I will see you later.